In many ways, the classical architecture that we have here in Morgantown couldn't be built today because we don't have the labor, we don't have the skills, and in many cases the financial aspects of it just couldn't be pulled off.
May is Historic Preservation Month, and Main Street Morgantown is leading a community-wide celebration of historic preservation in our community. The theme is People Saving Places.
Downtown here we have issues with exteriors. I mean, the weather in Morgantown isn't the most forgiving. In many cases we have masonry exteriors, whether they're limestone or brick. And often the mortar, the joints between the stones get deteriorated. Windows are a big thing. We call them the eyes of the building, right? So they're typically made of wood, painted wood, and the paint doesn't last forever. And then the caulking, the sealants around the glass tend to wear because of sun exposure or weather exposure. So there's ongoing maintenance that often doesn't happen, which are, in my mind, the biggest act of historic preservation is maintaining your buildings. And often that's not done, either financial issues or just change of ownerships. And sometimes you just can't get to things and see a roof is leaking or a window on an upper story has got an issue because it's not visible. Some development plans are in the works to bring back the Warner Theater. I think it's been closed for I don't know, 16 years at this point maybe. Hotel Morgan has just gone through a major revitalization historic tax credit project. I think it was finished 3 years ago at this point. I think they're doing some ongoing work, maybe a restaurant on the upper level. City Hall was built in 1924, so it's celebrating its 100th year. I believe the city's just moved back into it. They'll be doing some things for Preservation Month to celebrate its history and tell a little bit about its revitalization and rehabilitation.
The Metropolitan Theater is turning 100 years old this year.
These buildings give back because of not only their use, but their beauty, their architectural details. We want folks to look up, to look around and notice things. We've got to the old Federal building across the way here from our office. It's a classical revival building out of limestone. Folks aren't working with limestone as much. The whole design aspect is much different than we would endeavor for today. You know, some of these upper dental moldings are unique. If you look at the balustrades on some of these buildings, the turned stone, again, you're not going to see that stuff today because of cost and because of the skill sets aren't available. I think we have an acknowledgement that things can't receive a glass box and just be stagnant. We want to see them reused. We want to see how they can be reused. And part of that is economics, right? So, I mean, money talks and it makes things go around. And times change. That's what Preservation Month is all about, is kind of taking note of the treasures we have here in our own backyard.
To find out more about Historic Preservation Month, visit us online.